Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Coaches put in our whole staff and for these guys, and I said this in the locker room, to take advantage of opportunities like this. It's hard to do that and come out with a win. So we're incredibly grateful.
Naji really defines that, taking advantage of opportunity, grinding from the G League to the starting lineup. When a guy can have success like that, season highs and threes and made points, as a coach, does that warm your heart a little bit?
It does. I know how much work goes into preparation. Naji, he's one of the guys from the very start, from Summer League, since I got here. He's just worked his tail off, and it doesn't always go his way, but he stays with it. Him and Coach Corey Brewer, they work every day watching film. Our medical and performance team are getting our guys, stronger and fit to be able to play when it's time. So, like I said, I'm grateful for all the work that goes into this. And this is one of those games where a ton of guys out and we just step up and take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, Jose and Naji, two undrafted guys. You got Herb, a second rounder. What does that kind of say about what you guys are doing on the player development side, that you're bringing these guys up and they're making these type of impacts?
Well, I've said it before. It's a credit to Mrs. Benson and Dennis, Griff, Trajan, Swin, our scouts, and the people that go out and they find guys that fit this program. I have a luxury that I get to coach them, but it starts at the top. Starts with the leadership at the top, and then we have incredibly high character guys. They come in every day. They work hard, and our staff has been amazing. So it's the reason that we're starting to see games like this where we have guys out and we can still compete at the highest level.
Yeah, another guy that fits that mold is Jackson. Another good game from him. How much has he shown you these past few games once he started getting more opportunities to show, what he's been doing behind the scenes?
Jax is probably one of the most talented guys on our team. And when he puts it all together, you see games like you did in Oklahoma. You see games like you did tonight. And we're all extremely proud of him.
Coach, 15-0 run, 13-2 run. Just talk about your defensive effort tonight. You were able to put this game away for all intents and purposes in the first half because of those runs.
That's what it's about for us. the first day that I got here, I talked to Griff about defense, and we have to continue to work and build a foundation defensively because it's sustainable. Our offense can come and go. I don't think, look, we didn't shoot the ball great tonight, but we defended. We got stops over and over again. We contested and we rebounded the ball, things that we said we wanted to work on this next set of 10. So, so far we're doing a great job of it.
Coach, most home wins in the Western Conference, y'all 14-4, have the best point differential. What does that say about just the crowd, what they did tonight, night after Christmas? Yeah. It's cold, no Zion, no BI, no Jose off the bench for that energy, but the crowd still showed up for you tonight.
It's a credit to the people here in New Orleans. They support our team. They support these guys. And like you said, it's cold outside, it's gloomy, rain, whatever it is. They come, they pack it out, and they have a great time, and we feed off that energy. It's always fun to come home and play in front of these fans. It's great. I had the luxury of playing here as a player, and now to get to coach and see the building fill up, it's a credit to the work that these guys are putting in.
And the credit you've been putting in as a coaching staff, up 20-something, still called a timeout to have a coaching moment with Billy. What goes into that, and how is that part of how you keep this team on point, is making sure that there's always a coachable moment, even in a game like tonight?
Yeah, I got to be balanced with that. I definitely want to make sure I continue to teach. That was a teachable moment that we just didn't come out and execute the way I felt like we could have. But it was not just Billy. It was the whole group out there. So Billy was, he does what Billy does. He rebounds the ball. We can throw it in the post, and he's a luxury to have both as a player, but even off the floor. So, yeah, I'm definitely trying to teach, and I just try to have a balance of it.
To your point about the defense, I mean, you said it's something you've been talking about since day one. Is it rewarding, to see you guys being in the top 10 in defense all year, and that starting to pay off this year?
We look at the numbers, and it's definitely a good sign that our defense is headed in the right direction. It's not rewarding until we reach our goals. And right now we're still in the journey. So, yes, on one side of it, it's great to be moving in the right direction, but we know there's still a ton of work left.
Coach, you just talked about the appreciative crowd. Did you pick up on when Kyra made that corner three, how loud the ovation was for him? Because that was his first bucket here. I think the Pelicans tweeted 383 days.
Incredible that the fans are so aware and so educated on what's going on with our team. I love it. And I love it for Kyra. I've said it before, but the work that he put in with Jana on our medical team and our performance team, Coach Teaspoon in the offseason when no one was here, they were here getting after it, and to see what he's bounced back from. And I told him, I said, you forget how fast Kyrie is until you see it up close and personal in a game. And I'm just super proud of him and all the things that he's doing to get back on the floor and help us.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned in the Pelican Post-Game Report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate each and every last one of you for joining us for a very happy and positive Pelican Post-Game Report. Pelicans take down the Pacers. They blow out the Pacers, 119-93.
They outpaced the Pacers.
There you go. Outpace the Pacers. I got to change the byline on that, DC. That's a good one. Pelicans outpaced the Pacers 113. I was trying to implement blowout like to their car. We blew their tires out so they couldn't pace. Something to that effect. They blow them out 113.
Man, I mean, in this generation, bro, who really remembers the Pacer being a cup?
Yeah, well, they must have been driving one today, DC, because the Pelicans aimed perfectly and just ran over them, blew out their tires, engine, every damn thing.
Yeah, so, the Pelican was in a goddamn jet or something, bro. They just flew past there.
Took care of them heavily, man, in this one. And thank the family members for joining us for this episode of Pelican Post Game Report. My name is Big Q, and DC is in the building as well as my co-host. So with that being said, DC, Pelicans handle the business, my friend. They take care of business against this Pacer club without Zion, without BI, without Trey, without who was the other one? I'm missing Dyson Daniels. without Herb, and the Pelicans still take care of business and beat this team by 20 points. And the Pacers are, they're not a stinky garbage team. They'll put up a fight, but the Pelicans took over this thing, DC, in the first half and ran away with it and finished the deal. What do you think early, bro?
Man, this was truly special, bro. The Pels have made a lot of strides at becoming the team we all knew they would be. Everybody who always been here, and you saw what we got, especially after the AD trade and getting Zion and what we envisioned this being. But to do this tonight, to me, kind of solidifies that mark where they've like officially turned the corner, like where you can't deny them. You know what I'm saying? Like, to do what they did tonight in the fashion they did it with all the players they were missing. I don't care how you slice it, who you put them up against. The Pelicans are a great team. Now, how great they are, will be determined by the rest of the season. But this victory tonight, to me, it's just like the cherry on top. We already knew, though, but that you can't deny it anymore, that we're in for a very special ride this season. However it turns out, it's going to be special. I heard somebody in the chat saying it's going to be epic, and I got to agree with you. I got to agree with you because the Pels team I seen prior, even with all of these guys out as talented we are, we probably would have challenged another team like the Pacers, but ultimately, failed and not got the dub, but, really put up a good fight. You know what I'm saying? We don't quit, never have. But to go in there and dominate, and you're missing, what, 5 starters? Well, no, not 5, but 3 starters. And another very pivotal piece to your team. And you got Larry Nance just coming back. Jackson Hayes is being who we thought Jackson Hayes could be, looking to be that athletic shot blocker that we were looking for, somebody who can help protect the rim and a lot more. You know what I mean? So it's special to see, man. It's very fulfilling. Great way to cap off the holidays, in my opinion. Well, yeah, Big Q. I know you're talking. Can't
No,
hear you.
I'm here, sir. Thank you. Just the Pelicans are just showing the rest of the league, DC, that they're for real. And how many teams that that can go in there and be down their 2 top players?
Not a lot, bro.
Several of their key role players, their best defensive player, and go in there and beat a team by 20, not just survive. This team,
a good team too. The Pacers are a pretty good team,
right? The Pacers right now, they got a good. Carlisle is on top of the team, so they got a good coach there, and they're feisty. Remember, this team beat the Pelicans in the first matchup. We split with them now in the season series, but this team, man, the Pelicans down all of those players, and still, not only did they survive, they thrived. Their defense was on par. The offensive rebounds was just great. And they just got in there, locked in, and just manhandled the Pacers, blew them out by 20 points. And then it didn't have any close, it wasn't any feel in this game. The first half, especially the second quarter, when they beat them by 13,
that's when it happened.
They separated themselves and never looked back. They never looked back after that. Now, then, of course, the referees tried to blow whistles to make it a game in the fourth quarter, but it didn't work. The Pelicans followed the orders of Coach Willie not to foul, and they were still able to beat this team. It was just phenomenal. Anyway, let's get into the team statistics on this one, fam. Pelicans 41 of 90 for 45.6% from the field. Pacers 35 of 83 for 42.2. Pels with 12 of 40 from downtown for 30%. The Pacers 9 of 35 for 25.7. The Pelicans went to the foul line 24 times, 19 of 24 for 79.2%. Pacers 14 of 20 for 70%. Pelicans just outstanding rebounding, 54 rebounds to 36, and then 16 offensive boards. It's ridiculous. Now, they don't have second chance shots here on this list, but that was big for the Pelicans too. This 54-36 advantage in the rebounds is just ridiculous. The Pacers got 30 assists. They always covered it versus 23 by the Pacers. Outstole them 10-9. Blocked them 6-5. They did have 16 turnovers with 17 points off versus 13 turnovers by the Pacers, 19 points off. 19-17, Pacers won that. 52-46 points in the paint's Pelicans. And like I said, they led by as much as 29 in the contest. And of course, Pacers had a 10-point lead, evaporated very quickly. But DC, I know obviously it's one of these games where it's key that you're going to look at the statistics and say, man, rebounds, that was huge for us.
Oh, you already know what I was going for. I mean, obviously, man, they got 54. You know what I'm saying? The other team only got 36. 16 offensive rebounds is the huge one to me because and the other team only getting 6. Not just the fact we got 16, but we only allowed them to get 6. They shot 25% from 3, and they shot 35 of them. So it was a lot of rebounds to get. The fact that they were able to find a way to fix that rebounding problem we were dealing with in our losses. And I mean, basically they were running 2 bigs out there, you know, so maybe going into the future, we might be closing some games with JV. He's showing that he can definitely still dominate the boards. And also the emergence of Jackson Hayes as he had some rebounds tonight too, and getting Larry Nance back and running a combination of all those guys together with Billy Herman Gomez, who I think was very masterful in the rebounds. But the other stat to me that jumped out was the 30 assists, man. And when I watched this game, I almost didn't care about who was scoring what because it just was so unselfish. Everybody was looking to get the best shot for everybody. The Pels are usually this way, but tonight it was very obvious. Like they played as a complete unit, man. Defensively and offensively. Didn't seem to be any type of forced shots. All the shots were smooth. I'm pretty sure everybody should have had an assist that got minutes because they were constantly passing the ball, man. And most of our shots were coming off of makes, as you can see, with the 30 assists, man. And I guess the last one that you kind of look at, but it wasn't a real big separation, but we did win the points in the paint battle. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them for that. And free throws. Ultimately, we got to the line 24 times, and we converted on 19 of them, which was right around 80%. Like to be better, but you can't be mad at damn near being 80%. That's a good number. And they only got 20. So shout out to the Pels, man. Very unselfish play, very smart play tonight. And they had a lot of energy, effort, and didn't make a lot of mistakes other than a few of those early turnovers. We probably had 5 turnovers in, I think, the first quarter. So looking at those 16 turnovers and you eliminate those 5, it don't look so bad. So shout out to the Pels, man. Team victory.
Team victory indeed, man. Depth victory, coaching victory, or however you want to place it, it is. And of course, we talked about the 54 rebounds in the game by the Pelicans, 16 of which was offensive. The second chance points tonight, 26-8 Pelicans. Big stat, huge stat. Second chance points, 26-8 Pelicans. All right, let's go into the individuals here, DC, as we climb through this thing. 22 points for you know it. Naji Marshall, the enforcer. He got the black Najis on, 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 9 from downtown, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe, 22 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 1 block, and only 2 turnovers in the matchup, and plus minus for Naji, plus 22. So big game for Naji Marshall. He led the way for the Pelicans. Valanciunas was the second leader, 20 points for Big V in 29 minutes of action. He was 10 of 18.
He had all that damn near 3 quarters, too.
Yep. He was 0 for 3. That's the only thing he didn't do was hit his threes. He was 0 for 3 from downtown, but 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block in the game for Big V. So shout out to Big V and Naji. They combined to do some really good stuff. And speaking of a guy that just keeps, we're going to get to him momentarily. 19 points for CJ McCollum in 30 minutes, a smooth 19 from CJ, 5 of
Mhm.
14 from the field, 3 of 7 from
Broke some
downtown.
ankles out there tonight too. Boy,
Yes,
that was
I
nasty.
seen that. Yeah, 6 of 7. He still got it, man. He ain't, a lot of people be sleeping on him, bro. 19.7 boards, 6 assists, 2 steals in the game. He had 5 turnovers, though. Nonetheless, CJ McCollum was in there. He was the third leading scorer for the night. And Jackson Hayes. Second straight game, Jackson paying dividends for the Pelicans in a starting capacity this time around. He had 15 points in 31 minutes of action, 5 of 7 from the field. He did take a couple of threes, didn't hit them, but he was doing everything else to stay on the floor. 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. He had 9 rebounds to go in the game and 3 blocks along with 2 assists for Jackson, including one where he ripped it off the glass and then passed it into his partner in the same motion. So Jackson Hayes, man, should shut down a few of the people asking, where's Jackson Hayes? You can't dispute it. Over the last couple of games, he's been paying big dividends. He played 31 minutes tonight for the Pelicans. 11 off the bench from Graham. Devontae Graham came in, 11 points, plus 31 on the plus minus. And you look at his 20 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field. He was 3 of 7 for downtown, finished with 4 assists and 3 rebounds to go along with them 11. 7 apiece from Billy Hernan Gomez. He had 7 points and 7 boards in 18 minutes. 7 points for KLJ, making an appearance in 17 minutes back in the game. Played 17, KLJ to blur. 3 of 7 from the field. Hit a three-pointer. Bless you. 7 points by KLJ, a block, a steal, and a rebound by the blur. And Larry Nance, DC, coming back off that injury. 4 points for Larry. 19 minutes. He was 2 of 4. You see, he was just trying to work his way back into the game. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal for Larry in the matchup. And even Garrett Temple got a little burn in 19 minutes. Not much shaking, a couple of steals, a couple of one rebound in the matchup. So, DC, let's talk about this, man. Who you got in your Fab 3?
You know what, man? I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge Naji Marshall as obviously being a player of the game and having a career high tonight with 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. And, man, he was shaking and baking and hitting them 4 3-pointers. That's huge for Naji, man. Especially that one that in the shot clock. I think that was at halftime, man. He put the leg up and called bank.
Yeah, the bank was open.
Yeah, man. Big game for him. But rather than going off on going everybody's stats and picking 3 people, man, this just was a great team victory, man. I love seeing Kyra out there. I know his stats probably wasn't that crazy, but I thought he gave really meaningful minutes. You know, Devontae Graham, man, every time you look around when we needed them threes, they hit a 3. He went and hit one. He's playing good on defense. You know, he was out there getting assists. Even saw him get a couple of good rebounds too. Larry Nance, as you stated, just coming back, man. Very good minutes. Good defense from everybody. Even Garrett Temple, even though he still managed to not score a point, still had some good minutes out there. Made defensive plays, diving on the ground for the ball, man. CJ stayed within himself, kind of went with the flow of the team, even though nobody would have cared if he took 30 shots tonight. You know, he only took 14. He got 19, 6, and 7, man, but it was very impactful in the way he went about it. And I think everybody played with that type of energy, man. Big V went out there, did his thing, played really solid, man, was heavy on the boards with 12 of them things, got 20 points and could have kept his foot on the gas, but everybody else was eating, so he let his teammates eat. Just masterful execution in team ball. Jose Alvarado didn't shoot the best tonight, you know, but he did his thing as well, man. Still brought that energy. Went out, got you some steals. Every time I looked up, man, they had their head on a swivel. Jose was jacking them left and right when they couldn't see him, ducking down low like how you do, man. And Jackson Hayes, bro.
Yeah, Jose, DC, before you go to Jackson, bro, you right on Jose. I missed him on the stat shot. 8 points from him, but you're right. He looks more like himself. You can see he's getting a lot healthier, man. He looked more like himself in this game.
His 3-ball ain't working like how it was before he hurt his rib, but I think he'll come back. That's the only thing I see missing.
Right. What
But
you say about Jackson, bro?
man, I mean, much love to the young fella, man. You know, everybody shitted on him when he was down. I never wanted to trade him, and you wasn't gonna get nothing for him. He keep playing like this, you can get something for him, and I still don't want to trade him. You know, he got a ultimate compliment from coach. You ain't talk about that on his stat sheet, Big Q.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
mention what Willie Green said in that interview, man. He said Jackson Hayes is one of the most talented guys on this team. Man,
Yeah.
that's a hell of a
It's a
compliment, bro.
That's definitely a compliment.
That is a hell of a compliment. You know, some people may come out of nowhere and say that's smoke. Willie trying to hype him up, but we all see it, man. This
Willie ain't
dude,
no bullshit artist, bro. That's one thing I
he
gotta
not.
give Willie. He ain't no bullshitter, bro. So no,
This
I ain't
dude
going for that.
has really good attributes, man. He's very athletic. You know what I'm saying? He's got a decent stroke for a 7-footer. You know, he could jump out the gym, obviously. If you get him to box out properly, which we seen him improve on that. You know, he got 9 rebounds tonight. You know he could block shots. Still working on the screens though. But Jackson Hayes, he has a lot of positive things about him, man, and he's showing why he is a good addition to this team. And when needed and when we can utilize him properly, he can be very valuable to us playing in a certain role. So I think hopefully when Zion comes back, you'll still see him getting some minutes because we could use him as the big that we've been looking for to help when our defense was awry and guys breaking us down. For as JV being a little slow-footed, you can put Jackson Hayes out there and do that. But coach, I think, had to trust him to do the right things. Obviously, it's sunk in. He's doing the right things. He even got up his 2 3-point shots and didn't get put out the game because he took them at the right time.
Right.
You know
He
what I'm
was
saying?
hustling too. That
Yeah.
was yeah.
So all in all, man, I just wanted to kind of mention a little bit about everybody, even Willie Herman Gomez, man. He did his part, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had a solid game tonight, man. Some guys played above solid, but I just thought ultimately as a team, you know, they all should be applauded because it was an excellent effort from top to bottom. And that's what we was gonna need to go in there and beat the Pacers the way we did. And the Pels sure did go in and handle business.
They did, man. 20-point win beating this team, man. And remember, like we said, they split with them. That's the season series is 1-1. We lost the first matchup back on the 7th of November, 129-122. That's when Myles Turner was knocking out all those 3-pointers. Not so much shaking in this game. 14 points by Turner. He was 2 of 5 from downtown, and this one finished with 14. And the Pelicans was just too much for this club. Nobody from the Pacers stood up. Tyrese Halliburton didn't have the best of games. He finished with 12 points. Buddy Hield had 12, but not much shaking. 15 off the bench by Mathurin was, the most they scored. But in the end, the Pacers just was no match for the Pelicans tonight. Their defense, the rebounding, and the second chance shots, and they had it going. And, man, it was terrific, man. It was good seeing the defense, and this is what they're capable of. All right, family, so let's move on to the next one. And, of course, we got an opponent that's coming in this game, man. Let me tell you something. The Pelicans' next matchup will be Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time in the Smoothie King Center. We got 3 home games that we're going to play. The next 2 will be with Minnesota on Wednesday, and Friday is Philly. With Tyrese Maxey supposed to be coming back for the matchup. He'll be on minute restriction because of that bad bum foot. But anyway, the Minnesota Timberwolves are up next, an old foe. And let me tell you something. The Timberwolves are going to come in this game kind of desperate. This team is on a 3-game losing streak. They just lost to Miami tonight. And they're going to be trying to come in here to try to get something shaken and try to see if they can get a win. Anthony Edwards is the top man for them with 23.2 points per contest on almost 46% shoot from the field. That old slowful Eiffel Tower dude, Gobert, is their top rebounder, 12.3, and Russell is their top assist man, 6.5. They have talent, man. They just haven't been able to put it together. Zion Williamson is the top
That's
guy.
what you call it?
I mean, listen, bro.
They can put if they got to put it together some kind of way. They might not. Well, that
Man,
was a
come
bad.
on, Big Q. Just be honest, bro. You know them people stupid, bro.
Well, doing
They
that
had
with
a team.
the
They
Eiffel
had a
Tower,
team
bro.
worth putting some fear in people last year, and they broke it all up
Well, you got to blame
for a
the
dude
Pelicans
that's
on that,
damn near $300 million, and it
dude.
can't even utilize
Let me tell
properly
you
with their
something.
roster.
Let me tell you something, bro. They did that. That was a knee-jerk reaction because what the Pelicans were building, you and I both know that they needed to make a move, and they were like, "Oh man, the Pelicans,"
Just
and it
couldn't
just didn't
believe they
work
could
right.
be that stupid though to do that.
They thought a lot of Rudy Gobert more than what we thought of Rudy Gobert, and they thought that he can
Wow.
go to the next level and pair him next to Big Cat. But Rudy Gobert is a jerk. I've been saying that for a while. His character's bad.
What him being a jerk got to do with the play
Well,
on the court though?
if your teammates don't like you, that might mess
Man, I
with
guess
the
you got a
chemistry.
point.
All right, so Zion is due to come back. He
They
was
still
supposed
got a
to come
better
back.
record than the Lakers, as it appears.
This is true. All right, so yeah, so Zion was supposed to play. He was cleared, but then again, they kind of stopped him again. But word on the street, he's supposed to be ready for this matchup against the Wolves. He averaged out. He's a top a scorer for us at 25.2, 60.3. DC is his field goal percentage, ridiculous. Valanciunas top rebound at 9.3. McCollum's the top assist man, 6.1. They got some injuries that's there. Taurean Prince and Kyle Anderson, some of their role players are listed as out. Of course, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, Dyson Daniels, and Trey Murphy. All these guys are out. We'll see if we'll get some of these guys back for the upcoming matchup. We know Zion Williamson is a guy that should be coming back according to what they were saying. And if, like they said, he was ruled out for Monday's game against the Pacers, according to Christian Clark, saying that it was conditioning. So they just airing it on the side of caution and getting them ready. Maybe against the Minnesota Timberwolves, we'll see. BI is another one. DC said it was supposed to happen in the next couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We're getting ever so close to Brandon Ingram perhaps coming back. Herb Jones was a guy, as y'all know, was ruled out of Monday's game as well. So we'll just keep watching, man, because we're going to get some of these guys back, man. We're going to get some of them back. Now, Daniels, Dyson.
I think it's a blessing in disguise, though, with them getting hurt, because you get to see what some of the other guys can do, and I think maybe we'll find a better way to utilize them along with our guys coming back.
This is true. You have no choice.
Because if you're playing well, I got to find a way to give you minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it works well because Jackson Hayes is definitely it worked out well with us. Right, Jackson stepped up. Look at Devontae Graham; he stepped up for you tonight. So these players that in the past were not as reliable are showing themselves step up when given these opportunities. KLJ, a guy we saying, well, what are we gonna find minutes for KLJ? Well, the injuries have opened up slots for KLJ to get a little burn as well in this thing. So it's going to be interesting. So I would be happy if we got all those guys back, but probably some of those guys, Zion Williamson leading the way. So we'll see. But like I said, the Timberwolves on a 3-game losing streak, the Pelicans on a 3-game winning streak. Something got to give. So we'll get into this. But first, the Southwest standing. Right now, the Pelicans are sitting a half a game ahead of the Memphis Grizzlies, who lost. And they're on, like I said, the Pels on a 3-game winning streak. Minnesota's 4th in the Northwest on a 3-game slide behind Portland, who's on a 3-game slide. So,
everybody's sliding, huh?
They sliding on down.
They sliding, but they ain't sliding on their ops.
No, they sliding on down. And then, of course, this is the Western Conference standings right now, family, as is. As you can see, the Pelicans are back up there at number 2, half a game ahead of the Grizzlies and a half a game back of the Nuggets. So that's where your Pelicans at currently without their stars. DC, let's delve into this Minnesota Timberwolf club, man, and pick them apart here.
Well, we're going to put the omen to rest, man, because Minnesota is one of those teams now, family, that's like Utah. For whatever reason, it's not like we never beat Minnesota, but it just was always tough games for some reason with Minnesota. Now that they're shorthanded, you got Big Cat hurt. They have a roster where they kind of were foolish in breaking it up and getting rid of some of those role players they had. It kind of worked good. So that they're a weakened team than they were last year. But you still have the franchise player known as Anthony Edwards. Russell's been playing pretty good. We know Rudy Gobert does have value. It's not like he's an offensive juggernaut, but he does make it difficult to score. on the interior. So they got a few things working in their favor. And if Zion does indeed play, a guy like Nas Reed, for whatever reason, was giving him problems from time to time.
Oh, yeah, he always has solid games against the Pelicans. I don't know what that
Right,
is.
right. So this could be a bit of like a Utah situation. I still think we get the dub. I like how we're playing right now, but I don't anticipate this game against Minnesota being like the one tonight against Indiana, even if we restock the cupboards, so to speak, get some of our guys back. Still think this is gonna be a tough game. Hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong, but for whatever reason, for the last couple of years, man, since we've come into this new era of Pels basketball since about 2019, Minnesota has been a difficult matchup for us. Before they had Anthony Edwards, it's like they didn't really even have too many people on their team. Still was a difficult game. So I'm hoping maybe we didn't got past that, and I'm looking forward to seeing this game. But I think it's gonna be one that goes down to the wire, and we're gonna have to execute, play team ball, stay on top of our P's and Q's to be able to get the dub, man. I don't think this is gonna be one where we can be sloppy, just turn it on, turn it off, and sneak out there with a win.
Yeah, I agree with you, DC. It's one of those situations where you're right. It's like the Jazz, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves fit in there too. They always seem to elevate their game beyond what they're capable of doing when they meet us. And that's one of the situations where we just gonna have to bat them down, man. And I know we'll be getting, obviously the level of competition rises because you got a guy like Anthony Edwards, man, all world, and D'Angelo Russell when he gets cooking too, he's a force. So. They're missing a lot of guys, DC. Big Cat's out, they're saying about a month. Some of their key role players like Kyle Anderson and Taurean Prince, even McLaughlin, those guys are out, and you might see guys like Jalen Noel and Austin Rivers, or old man Rivers, that dude's still in the league. Brian Forbes, Nas Reed.
Original draft pick by the Pels.
Boy, that you want to talk about a first round bust. We picked that boy up the same year.
I mean, we picked him 11th. So would that really be a bust?
10th, and yeah,
we picked him 10th.
Yes, top 10. That's a bust, dog.
Yeah,
he averaging 5.5 points on the season with less than 2 rebounds and assists. Not even assists and a half, 1.1. He's definitely a bust, cuz he definitely. A bust.
Well, I mean, that's what he averaging right now. But Austin Rivers had seasons where he averaged. He averaged double digit points.
DC
never double digit assists or anything.
On his career, 8 points.
Yeah, he had seasons where he averaged 12, 13, 14 points. He was a good addition off the bench for the Rockets and the Clippers. The Clippers. There you go.
Yeah, he was with his paw out there.
Yeah. So what his paw was stat pad for him?
No, his paw was working that favoritism angle.
Yeah. You know what I think? Wasn't that part of what broke up the Clippers? Wasn't some of them upset about that?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I wouldn't be surprised. That
was a bad idea. I mean, but I guess if I could get my son on the team with me, I'd probably do it too.
Nobody mad at Deion Sanders. See, you got to win while you do it. See, that's the whole thing. You got to win while you.
Well, I think ultimately you can't show favoritism with your son. Because if you're being hard on this player, and he's actually better than your son, and you're not, doing the same thing with your son, I think that's what causes the divide. You got to treat him the same like everybody else.
Well,
it may be difficult for some fathers, I would imagine.
Well, he's still in the league, so at 30 years old, I don't know how much he'll play in this matchup, but with all of the injuries that they got, man, my goodness, we're gonna see, man. But but DC, we got to get this one, man. It's 3 straight wins for the Pelicans. The Timberwolves is going to be a bump up in competition for us. They're going to be looking to really fight to get up off the snide. Like I said, they've lost 3 games in a row. They just lost tonight to the Miami Dolphins, and as you can see right here, the last 3 matchups: a loss to the Dallas Mavericks, 104-99. Then they lost to Boston on Friday, 121-109, and then today they lost by 3 to Miami, 113-110. So they're looking to kind of get up off the snide right there. And that was balling in the last several games, DC. He had 29 against Miami and 30 against Boston in a losing effort. So they're trying to get up off the snide against the Pelicans, because if they don't, more than likely they're going to end up on a 5-game losing streak, because they damn sure ain't going to beat the Bucks. So we'll see how it all shakes and folds, man. The Pelicans looking pretty good, family. This is the Western Conference standings. Let me retool it right quick and make sure, nothing was, there it is. So this is the Western Conference Finals that stand right here. You can see the Nuggets 21-11. Your Pelicans at 21-12 in second place, a half a game back of those Nuggets. Nuggets on a 4-game winning streak, winners of 7 out of the last 10. Pelicans 6 out of the last 10. And then on their back is Memphis. They're 20-12, a half a game back with the Pels. And of course, I love what Klay Thompson said in the post-game interview when the Golden State Warriors were playing the Memphis Grizzlies, DC. And he got on there. I don't know if you heard it, bro, but he talked about dynasty. He kept saying that the Grizzlies was talking about dynasty. And Klay Thompson said, well, hold on,
he played the hell out of him, bro. You might want to play the interview, bro. Go ahead and pull it up.
Let me see if
I thought that was funny. I was like, well, we would never do something like that.
Yeah, he really kind of showed them out.
They deserved it though, man. You saw what them people was doing before the game, and then they talking all crazy. They don't fear nobody in the West and all, like the team in the West didn't win the championship. But you fear the Celtics, the team that lost the championship to the other team. Like that's crazy. So I could see how the Warriors could take that as a slight, and use that as bulletin board material to be ready to play Memphis, because that is stupid to say.
Yeah, and they've been saying that, and I told you, like, people going to respond. They're not going to respond right to that, man. And it's just what it is, man. And you put the bullseye on your back, it's ridiculous. But anyway, here it is, fam. If you want to listen to it, this is what Klay Thompson said when he heard the Grizzlies talking about dynasty.
A different team. Klay, what is it about being at home that makes you guys such a different team?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you, Lisa, but I think we've been historically here, especially the last 10 years. In the Bay, we've been special. So our road wins will eventually catch up, but for now, we do a great job of protecting home court.
Just before this interview, you seem still so locked in. Like, what are you thinking about right now?
Well, I was thinking about all the great looks I got tonight and the ones I missed. Being a shooter, you always think of what you could have done differently, but other than not shooting the ball as well as I wanted to, I thought we played incredible defense. And when your shot's not falling and when you're being so sought on that end, you get out in transition. You get calls that go your way. So, and we limited turnovers. We do those two things, and we can mask our inefficient shooting nights.
Now, without Steph, Jordan Poole really stepped up. He got tossed in the fourth quarter, but what impressed you about the way he played tonight?
He's so fast. He's got incredible ball skills. He's like a baby Steph with his ability to step back and create shots from beyond the arc. And we're just very, very grateful. The fans, the team, the front office, to have such a talent like Jordan Poole. Can you believe he was a 28th pick? I mean, future star, already a star, but he's going to carry the torch for this franchise for a long time.
Klay, they've said that you guys are old, that the road to the championship goes through Boston, not necessarily Golden State. I think you showed Dylan Brooks what you think about all that, but what message did you want to send tonight?
Lethal Salt, destroying salt.
Man, they was talking about dynasty and all that. You can't talk dynasty when you haven't won before. I don't think people realize how hard that is, the commitment and sacrifice it takes. I mean, you got to sacrifice your body. And I thought that was premature talk, to even mention that word. But they bring the best out of us, and I think we do the same. And even though you don't like them, you got to respect them because they're a threat.
What message did you want to send tonight?
Man, they was talking about dynasty and all that. You can't talk dynasty when you haven't won before. I don't think people realize how hard that is, the commitment and sacrifice it takes. I mean, you got to sacrifice your body. And I thought that was premature talk, to even mention that word. But they bring the best out of us, and I think we do the same. And even though you don't like them, you got to respect them because they're a threat.
All right, that's Klay Thompson on the stretch. Yeah, he said. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, man. They feeling themselves, but the Pelicans right now is the second best team in the
Well,
West.
how crazy you got to be talking about the road for the title go through the Celtics, and you the Memphis Grizzlies.
And you're in the West. Yeah, I think your boy must have
That's
snipped a
too
little
funny,
too much.
bro.
Just
That's
to
funny,
snip a
man.
little, snipped a little too much dye or something, whatever. But the reality is, man, you can't, give them any more board material than what they have, man. You don't need to, talk shit on the Golden State Warriors. Just get out there and play them. You don't need to give them any more reason to go out there and play even harder than what they are. So, I mean, and Memphis learned that tonight. Now, thank that, because that helped the Pelicans out. As we keep winning, they lost. So that's a positive for us. But dynasty talk, DC, you hear Klay? How's that apply to your Pelicans, man?
I think that's great for the Pels. Mentally, it shows you where Memphis is at. And I think we're above them. They're a talented team. They're a good team. And that's the
Little
reason
brother
right
talk,
there why I call them my little brothers, man. They're obviously still immature. They haven't reached the level of understanding what it takes to really win and sustain that for a long time, man. Ultimately, I think Memphis will be a good team for a long time, and we'll constantly have like a going back and forth rivalry with them. But right now, they're not there yet to me. Something's missing. Some people say it's Desmond Bane. I just look at Ja taking that next step mentally. Physically, he's a specimen, a great player, even though he travels all the damn time. But that just shows you where they at, man. And they're limited by their belief system of kind of feeling like they're bigger than what they are.
Yep, there it is, man.
Just shut up and prove it, man. Like they be doing too much.
Don't get them people no more extra, motivation than what they already have, man.
What you mean?
Just play ball, man.
People be talking about us crazy, man, and we go over there and still eat grizzly meat.
No, not them. I ain't talking to Grizzlies, man. I'm talking about the Golden State Warriors. That's the team we're talking about. Because in order to be the greatest, the great team or whatever, you got to beat some of the top team. And right now, if you look at the Warriors' record, I mean, they are, a team right now that's currently 10th in the Western Conference. They're 16-18 right now.
You don't get past a team like that by trying to disrespect them, especially if they're not disrespecting you.
Right.
It's just gonna bite you in the ass every time.
And it did.
They're too good.
So they right now, because of what's going on, the injuries or whatnot, they're not playing really well. But remember, this is early, and usually a team like that, they start turning that on later on in the year, because most of the players, they set them down like the games against when we were playing them, DC. Remember, they set all them guys down to give them rest. So I
feel like they respect us. They don't want to tip their hand against us, man.
Well, like I said, the second half of the year, when the year turns over, and then you get into late January, into February, and all this kind of stuff, then you're gonna see the Golden State Warriors start winning games. You're gonna start seeing them put five winning streaks together, and then of course 8 and 9 game winning streaks together, and then they're gonna bolt from 10 up to the top 5 in that range. And by the end of the year, they're going to be inside the top 5 in the West. This is a proven veteran club. A lot of times they just be trying to buy some of these older players times out of the games while developing younger players that they have.
You feel like it's development?
And I think so, DC. Look how good
the fact when you
remember
look
when when we played their squad, bro. Remember how well their backups played us, Marcus Moody and these other guys, and Poole and all these guys. They got Kuminga. They got a lot of burn. They're doing like what the Pelicans do to a degree. Like with all these injuries occurring, you see the Pelicans guys are getting reps and they're developing. And you see that's what the Golden State Warriors. They got a lot of older players, and you know how some of these smoother, sneakier, smarter teams do. As they kind of hold these guys back. They don't let them flash a little bit, then pull them back. Like there was no reason for some of these starters not to play. How you bench all of them against the Pelicans? People was kind of pissed by that because they sold out that game and they didn't see none of them, not even Draymond Green. Right. And they didn't even put Draymond Green out there. And it was nothing wrong with Draymond Green and several other players at that time. So this is a slick move that teams like the Golden State Warriors do. And then watch you start seeing these guys ratchet up time. And when the year turn over, and you're going to see the Golden State Warriors start adding wins together. And by the end of the regular season, they're going to be a top 5, top 4 club. Watch. But that's who I'm looking at. Like, I know Golden State's always up there. They are a person that you want to gauge yourself against. We know about Denver. I mean, Denver's a decent team, but right now I don't think when the time comes, Denver's going to be the number one club. I think we're better than Memphis. I think we're better than Denver. I think the Clippers are an enigma because they can't stay healthy to play together. Phoenix, we already took up space in their head. Sacramento, we've yet to play them. They're intriguing, but at the same time, they're 5-5 over the last 10 contests. They ain't as hot as they were. You can see them kind of moving back again. Dallas is still, they picked up 3 straight wins. You know how we played Dallas. Utah swept us on the year, but I think they were playing their championship final thinking this was the finals against us. And of course, Portland, you know that. But Golden State's the team I'm looking at and saying over the last several years, this is a team that we have to kind of gauge ourselves against. And I think, DC, this is a team that'll be the team when the time comes that we will be able to gauge ourselves to as we get close to the playoff picture.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to cut you off because I knew you was about to do that, go through the whole goddamn lineup. But you brought it back.
You didn't want me to go through the whole lineup?
No, I just didn't want to lose my train of thought and start talking about somebody else because I kind of felt you going away from the Warriors for a second, but you brought it back. But my point with what I was saying about the Warriors, I think it's a strategic move because of, one, who they're playing and us. And they know, they can see. They obviously are great with scouting talent. So they see a team that's on the up and up, right? So they don't want to expose their hand until they drag us into the water when there's some of those crucial games, playoff seeding, more games that mean something. And as well, I don't look at it as them worrying about development so much. We got to think about the Warriors, Q. Over the last 12 years, the Warriors have probably only missed the playoffs twice, or maybe once. I don't know if it was that, because I don't know what you call with the play-in now. So you got guys on that team that have been there for that whole run, man. So these guys, they win championships, they play deep into the playoffs, and then some of them were playing for Team USA sometimes and all of that. And then you turn around and do it all over again. They're older. They need rest. So the Warriors are just biding time. They were letting those guys rest. You see Steph got hurt. I think he will be back, though, at some point this season. I forgot how long his injury is for. But they're just trying to preserve their key guys when they can to make sure when they're playing those important games that they're there. Because, I mean, the human body can only take so much, man. And the Warriors been playing playoff ball forever. They probably the team with some of the most minutes over the last decade. So you got to be strategic. And if I was them and I'm playing a team like the Pels and you're not worrying about winning the game, you ain't got no point to prove. I'm the champ. You playing me to try to prove you could beat me. I sit that game out too. I try to play them and show them what we made of in a game that come more when the lights are on. Because that's when I play. When the lights are on, we champs, right? So I think a lot of it is to strategy, and by default, it's obviously gonna get more time for the younger guys, and it's just a win-win all the way around the board. It's just a smart organizational move. But I think it was a strategy, definitely not playing us twice, right? Because you could have played us one of those games. Come on now. They didn't play us twice because they don't want to tip their hand. They want us to think we got them. And when they come in fully loaded, they want to catch us off guard a little bit, maybe thinking we would be like a Memphis.
Yeah, I can agree upon that, DC. I think that's exactly what Golden State is doing. That's why I say, like they doing a real sneaky, smart strategy here because they are keeping their experienced veteran players out of it. And then what they're doing is they're playing and giving really hot and heavy minutes to the young and up and coming players. So you see a Jordan Poole's already phenomenal But then you see Kuminga and Moody, and then of course Wiseman when he gets thrown into the picture. So they have an interesting young future core as well, along with this established winning team that they've been having over the last several seasons. So yeah, you're not going to really see the Golden State Warriors until next year sometime when the Pelicans, and that's that's must-see TV when we are all healthy and they are healthy. What the hell does that look like?
Two
So-
best teams in the West.
Right. So that's what I'm looking for. When the Pelicans have all of their guns, Zion, B.I., Herb, nobody's missing. Everybody that's anybody is in that game. What does it look like? Because most certainly we beaten a lot of these teams, DC, missing one of our top guys, if not both of them. So like with the Memphis game, if you had B.I. and Zion and all these guys at the same time, no way Memphis beating you. Memphis can't handle you. None of them could. None of them, no disrespect. But the Denver Nuggets came. If you put Michael Porter Jr. in there and we have all our guys, you know, it'll be interesting. But at the end of the day, they don't have anybody that can stop Zion. And Zion will be such a force that he'll make the game easier for CJ and BI, you know, and everybody else. So, I mean, it's just we are the force to be reckoned with. And none of these teams, we said this last year, none of these teams are built to deal with the Pelicans when they're full strength. So, like, we win in these games without our starters, Zion, BI. I mean, let me just say this, and we're gonna get on up out of here, DC, because I'm not trying to make it a long stream, but
Too late for that.
right. But the issue, the great thing I see about this team is that, and we said this in previous shows, previous streams, that you look at the Pelicans without BI, Zion, he was there, they win. They've won 3 games straight, DC, and these guys weren't there. And some of their key role players were missing. We won without Larry Nance being there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they pulled KLJ from the G League and he threw in 7 points. Devontae Graham stepped up and hit 3 3-pointers. Jackson Hayes, who was relegated to the last man on the bench, he was buried deeper than Garrett Temple was. And he came in there, gave him great time production the previous matchup and started 30 minutes for him and was blocking shots, rebounding, and also scoring. So it was just a credit to Willie Green for
Willie Green got a
these
tough
guys.
ass job, bro.
I'm telling you, bro, because he just, you know how difficult it is to take, you got a game plan built around a player, and then you have to take that player out. And like I said, we talked about Naji Marshall. How could I not talk about Naji? He stepped up and played well. Big V stepping up and playing well. So when these guys go out, the next guy is up. They're not chopped liver boys, as I call them. When we talk about the Pelicans, a lot of them outside talk about BI and Zion and CJ, rightfully so. Like, but don't forget guys like Big V, who's not chopped liver. This guy's a top 10, top 15 center in the NBA. You know, he's out there, you know, he'll take it to you. So, I mean, defensively and offensively, we have phenomenal guys off the bench that's ready to play. Billy Hernan-Gomez, DC, comes in there and gives you production in small amounts of minutes. He get out there, non-athletic and everything, but still manages to contribute.
Why you gotta do the man like that, bro? He played good.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just telling the truth. Jose Alvarado's another guy. So, like I said, Willie Green, credit to Willie Green taking these matchups that are that he'll get these guys and have to pull them out and then put matchups in there. And not only do they survive, they thrive tonight. The Pacers had all of their people. The Pacers weren't missing anybody tonight, family. They had all of their people. The Pelicans missing Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, their best defender, arguably their best shooter in Trey Murphy. Jones, their best
Ain't
defender.
no argument there.
Right. And then, of course, you missing their 2 top studs, the big guns, Zion and BI. And you beat the Pacers fully staffed by 20 points. And this team is a pretty decent team with Rick Carlisle on top of it. Man, credit to Willie Green, man, for getting these guys on the same page and making it shake, making it pop. 3-game winning streak without your studs. It's phenomenal, man. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. And I'm glad we seeing it right now. But we talked about this, DC, for many years, especially last year when we was stinking up. But I knew that the Pelicans, nobody would be able to challenge them once they got on cold with Willie and the love doctrine. And also when we got our big guns back, you would have to look to the East, DC, outside the Golden State Warriors for who will stop you, man.
The Nets
experience
too.
factors.
The Nets are looking like a dangerous team right now if they can keep
Finally.
that level of play.
Finally.
But Willie
Who's
Green
the
to
coach
me,
over there, DC? Is that Jock?
Yeah, Jack Vaughn.
Jock Vaughn got him playing really good, man. Shout out to Jock Vaughn. So yeah, finally you can get the
Willie Green's job is really difficult to me though, bro, because when you look at especially how these guys are playing right now, like who do you look at and be like, I'm not gonna give him no minutes. You know what I mean? Like, man, that's hard, bro. That's hard because we got a lot of people right now showing that they deserve to be out there. And the fact that we have a team that's unified. You heard Jackson Hayes making jokes, saying he was passing the Jonas Valanciunas because he went over to his house for Christmas and he felt like if he ain't passing the ball, he wasn't gonna invite him back. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, they really like each other, man. And you got a lot of talented guys, man. So that to me, that's a recipe for a team that can win a championship. That's the one thing I always hear about championship teams. They're like, you know, the talent is one thing, having a squad is one thing, but having that camaraderie, that unity, that family atmosphere, that's really what makes the difference in championship teams. They stick together and they're willing to do what needs to be done to win, because obviously we have multiple guys that deserve to be out there. So it's going to have to go based on your role and what can you do that the other person can't do based on what we need at that time. So I think we setting ourselves up to be a major wild card, man, because if somebody does go down during this run we're making, you can just plug another piece in and keep on going. And that's extremely rare in the NBA, man. Only really good teams or great teams are able to do that.
Indeed, man. Indeed. The Pelicans, 21-12 family, winners of 3 in a row. Next matchup against the Timberwolves on Wednesday, 7 o'clock tip-off time against the hated Minnesota Timberwolves with Rudy Stank and Gobert. But this team is led by Anthony Edwards, phenomenal player. Zion Williamson should be returning to this game. Hopefully we get Herb, maybe a couple of our guys back for this matchup to keep the winning streak going. Behind that will be Philly on Friday. So these is interesting contests indeed as we get closer and closer to the end of 2022.
Philly to me, I don't know, man. I'm not that scared of them. James Harden talking about he might reunite with the Rockets and stuff. So you see where they head at.
Oh, there's nobody.
It can't be
there.
going good over there, bro. If James Harden and the media saying stuff like that, though.
Might unite. What you mean unite with the Rockets?
He said he might unite with the Rockets, bro. What the heck? So you went and you jumped all these damn teams to go back to the Rockets? Like, what's wrong with him, bro?
Dude's a loser, man. It's just what it is. He'll never get a ring. Never get a ring. All right, that dude's like, it's just ridiculous. He said reunite with what he missing at Gordon. They're trying to get rid of Gordon. That's nothing there. That's a total rebuild. They don't want that stupid contract back. So he don't want to stay with his boy Morey?
I don't know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nobody want that boy.
So Philly definitely got some issues going on. So we get past this Timberwolves team, and hopefully, you can look to BI to be back by Friday. I'm hoping. Well, I mean, that would be before y'all timeline. Y'all said the beginning of the year. I said possibly this game. So I was wrong. But if he ain't back Friday, then hey, we'll be the beginning of next year or the middle of next year. Hopefully.
That's what I said, and I think I think Lexa said that, and I agree with her.
Yeah, she agreed with you.
I would definitely see that because I mean they're winning right now. Why would there be the need to rush him back? I mean when them playing as good as they are, you might want to just chill on that and let him rehab the natural way until he's 100% totally healthy. You know, the Pelicans don't have to force some of these guys back to action if it's a deep team. Like if Herb has a bang up issue, Dyson has you don't have to rush none of these guys back. You really don't. You could take your time and allow them to heal the correct way, and then because really the focus or the scope should be looking at this upcoming year in 2023, moving ahead and getting everybody healthy for the playoffs, getting everybody lined up for the playoffs, keep the winning going and getting lined up and stay healthy for the playoffs. With a deep team, we can control the minutes where we don't give too many guys too many minutes that they don't need that might contribute to them being hurt. So as long as we can keep working how we've been working it, this team will be fresh and they'll be potent. So at the end of the day, that's what we're looking at. But anyway, that'll do it for the stream, family. I appreciate you guys chiming in on this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. Pelicans run over the Pacers. They blow the tires out on them. 113-93. They improved to 21 and 12, 14-4 at home. They done made home big time, man. Pelicans becoming unstoppable in the Smoothie King Center. They're feeding off the flock, man, and they live in hope we can keep that going against the Timberwolves. Coming here and knock them all down, man. But anyway, with that being said, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the Pelican Post Game Report on your social media feed. Hit the notification bell, and also check the links in the description section below, and check out the Pale Shop for all the latest merch from the Pelican Post Game Report. Check that out, man. We got still got discounts going on for the holiday season, going up to New Year's. Check those out. So with that being said, DC, good work, bro. I see you on Wednesday night for the Minnesota recap. Shout out to the fam. Thank y'all for being in the stream here, fam. And we're going to holler at y'all on the next one, man. Phenomenal win by your Pelicans. Very proud. Thank y'all, guys. We're going to holler at y'all on the next one. Go Pels.
Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport.